Indonesia.
Your Excellency, President Ramaphosa, Excellencies, leaders of G20 countries, in many parts of the world, crises are intensifying. Global solidarity and decisive leadership are needed to address them. Indonesia commends South Africa's leadership in advancing energy, water, and food security. For Indonesia, food security is not just an economic agenda, but a fundamental necessity for our people. For that reason, the President of Indonesia is focusing on the food security and free nutritious meals for 80 million students and pregnant women as strategic investment. That promotes the use of local products, empowering farmers and livestock breeders while expanding economic activity in many areas. On the other hand, as an island nation located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, Indonesia faces more than 3,000 disasters every year, from earthquakes, floods, to volcanic eruption. For Indonesia, resilience is not a slogan, it is a daily reality. Drawing from these experiences, Indonesia promotes the concept of sustainable resilience, a framework in which human development, economic growth, and environmental protection can advance in harmony. Excellencies, today's disasters are not only natural, many are the results of human action. We see this in Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, and the Sahel, and many other regions, where conflicts reduce homes to rubble, deprive people of hopes and livelihood. These tragedies remind us to put humanity at the heart of global governance. The world must not allow and normalize preventable human suffering from becoming the new normal. As a forum representing 85% of the world's GDP, the G20 carries a moral duty to lead by example, ensuring that growth and resilience become two sides of the same coin, driving hope, prosperity, and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I now want to call the President of the Republic of Korea, Mr. Lee Jae-myung.
네, 의장님 감사합니다. 근본 세션의 주제는 각각 다른 주제 같지만 상호 연결된 하나의 체계적 위험 요인입니다. 유엔 재해위험 경감국이 지적하는 것처럼 여러 분야에서 연쇄적으로 나타나는 복합 위기입니다. 그러나 우리가 충격을 적절히 흡수하고 복원력을 강화하면 새로운 기회가 창출되고 또 새로운 성장 기반이 마련될 것입니다. 이를 위해서 먼저 국제사회는 기후위기 대응 노력을 지속해서 강화해야 합니다. 대한민국은 국제사회의 노력에 동참하기 위해서 2035년 온실가스 감축 목표와 중장기 기후 탄력적 발전 경로를 확정했습니다. 우리 정부는 기후변화 대응을 위한 국제사회의 여정에 책임 있는 일원으로서 함께할 것입니다. 둘째로, 재난위험 대응은 예방 중심, 복원력 중심으로 재편되어야 합니다. 올해 G20 재난위험 경감 강요회의가 다중재난 조기 경보 체계를 도입한 것은 매우 적절합니다. 대한민국 역시 누구나 소외되지 않고 재난 위협으로부터 안전한 미래를 만들기 위해서 노력하고 있고, 아시아 태평양 국가들에게 홍수 조기 경보 체계 구축 등 재난 위험 저감 사업을 지원하고 있습니다. 대한민국은 G20 회원국 여러분과 함께 재난 대응 복원력 강화를 위한 노력에 적극 동참할 것입니다. 셋째, 에너지 전환 과정에서 복원력 높은 인프라 시스템에 적극 투자해야 합니다. 대한민국은 기후위기 대응과 녹색 산업 성장을 위해서 재생에너지를 기반으로 에너지 고속도로를 추진 중입니다. 해상풍력 클러스터와 분산형 전력망 구축을 확대하고 국민 모두에게 혜택을 주는 햇빛소득, 바람소득 공유 모델도 확산시켜 나가고 있습니다. 마지막으로 글로벌 식량체제 복원력 강화를 위해서 국제사회가 연대와 협력을 지속해야 합니다. 한국은 UN 세계 식량계획과 식량 원조 사업을 17개국으로 확대하고 아프리카 14개국의 K-라이스벨트 사업을 추진해 왔습니다. 앞으로도 국제사회의 연대와 협력 강화에 앞장설 것입니다. 존경하는 동료 여러분, 아프리카 속담처럼 비는 한 지붕에만 내리지는 않습니다. G20는 2008년 금융위기, 2020년 팬데믹 위기에 세계 경제 회복을 이끌어냈습니다. 기후, 재난, 에너지, 식량의 복합 위기 또한 그때와 같은 책임감 있는 연대를 필요로 합니다. 한 국가의 회복력은 전 세계의 회복력으로 이어집니다. 위험을 사전에 낮추고 충격에 흔들리지 않으며 더 나은 상태로 회복할 수 있는 글로벌 체계를 함께 구축하는 데 대한민국이 앞장서서 기여하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Thank you. I now call upon His Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Mr. Maxim Oreshkin.
Thank you, President Ramaphosa. I will start with reminding a personal story of Bill Gates, the renowned Microsoft co-founder. He was an early and outspoken advocate for the urgency of climate change, investing billions in clean energy solutions. Recently, he softened his stance, emphasizing human welfare and balanced policy over alarmist views, where funding for health and development plays the leading role. It happens sometimes that the positions of key figures can change, and the country policy also can change amid evolving conditions and priorities. However, tactics should not dominate the strategy. We stand for long-term and balanced development, aiming at sustainable progress that benefits all equitably. Global climate policy should be reasonable, not dogmatized. It should be focused on ensuring access to technologies and finance. It should also be cost-effective. Energy transitions should be both clean and affordable. Zero and low-emission technologies, including natural gas, nuclear, and hydropower, play a pivotal role in energy transitions, especially here in Africa, where 500 million of people do not have access to electricity. Technologically neutral approach is needed to advance decarbonization without compromising economic growth and SDG 7, access to energy for all. CO2 removal solutions, natural sinks, are not less effective than mitigation, while most affordable and also scalable. Energy policies must ensure energy security and be aligned with structural shifts in global energy demand. The expansion of digital economy, including AI, blockchain, big data, is driving electricity demand comparable to heavy industry. We need to develop new generation capacities located near resource bases and consumers. Food systems, energy, climate change, and disaster resilience are integral parts of one global resilience platform. Global South and Global East play a crucial role in providing food and energy to the world due to their vast agricultural resources and abundant natural reserves, thus contributing to food and energy security. What is also needed for global food security is fair competition and open trade. Well-functioning markets are a key factor to eliminate hunger worldwide. Just to mention that despite illegitimate sanctions, Russia is among the world's major exporters of food and fertilizers, and about 97% of our supplies go to developing nations, of which more than 40% go to low-income countries. even amidst the background of sanctions that indirectly affect even food supplies, Russia fulfills its mission of contributing to global food security. As for the G20's mission, it is not only to respond to shocks, but to design a future architecture that is balanced and shock resilient. So, global resilience today must go beyond crisis response. It also has to be platform-based. Climate change, disaster risk reduction, and energy transitions are intertwined and should be addressed collectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you indeed. I now wish to call upon Minister of Foreign Affairs of Argentina, Pablo Quirno Magrain.
Thank you, President Ramaphosa, for placing these critical issues not only for the stability of our economies, but also for the well-being of our populations, particularly the most vulnerable. During periods of catastrophes and crisis, the solidarity of nations is most evident. History has shown that despite diverse worldviews, the G20 has served as a platform for cooperation in the most challenging moments of recent history, successfully reaching consensus and coordinating actions and tasks collectively. Disaster prevention cannot be limited to statements. It requires concrete action and effective collaboration with the most vulnerable nations. It is essential to provide technology, materials, expertise, and skilled personnel to develop safe infrastructure and mitigate damage. An efficient approach is to share resources when and where they are needed, coordinating among countries in a practical, bureaucracy-free manner. Disasters tend to occur in predictable seasons and regions. Therefore, international agreements must move from words to clear commitments with specified contributions and shared responsibility, ensuring that solidarity goes beyond good intentions. Allow me to move on to my next point. Food security must be addressed through mechanisms that do not reduce global food production and investment. Argentina is a major food producer, and under market conditions, free from distortions caused by domestic and international policies, it could double and diversify its production. Many countries have implemented domestic policies aimed at lowering consumer prices, which have led to stagnation or declines in production. This effect is not only caused by domestic public policies, but also by international ones. Food markets are competitive, meaning there is a good balance between quality and price. Distorting them through subsidies or prohibitions only harms those who need food the most, because higher production would correspond to lower prices. For this reason, Argentina fights against market distortions, against barriers to food trade, and against subsidies that distort competition. That is why we promote long-term contracts to supply countries that regularly import food, as well as strategic partnerships that ensure food security. Hunger is addressed by increasing food production, not by reducing it through measures that only stagnate it. We're here to cooperate by producing, integrating stable value chains, and selling at highly competitive prices and quality for the benefit of consumers around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. My last speaker on the G20 member side is Her Excellency, Minister of Finance and Public Credit, United Mexican States, Edgar Amador Zamora.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We gather today not only as representatives of our nations, but as partners in the pursuit of a resilient and sustainable world. As we reflect on the challenges that we have faced, be it the global pandemic, extreme weather events linked to climate change, or market financial volatility, we must recognize the pivotal role that the G20 plays in fostering collaboration and resilience among our nations. Together, we have the power to shape a future that prioritizes the well-being of our people and our planet. Investing in disaster risk reduction protects development gains, reduces vulnerabilities, strengthens adaptation to climate change, and promotes economic and social stability. Disaster risk reduction is at the heart of development, advancing the 2030 agenda and safeguarding its achievements. Mexico welcomes South Africa's leadership and vision in this area so that the G20 can contribute significantly to positioning resilience as a global public good and as an indispensable condition for sustainable development. The G20 provides a forum for dialogue that highlights the importance of integrating disaster risk reduction into development planning, public investment, and international cooperation. Discussion within the group reflects a growing consensus. There will be no sustainable development or effective adaptation to climate change without proper management of present and future risks. Mexico particularly values the G20's promotion of common approaches on issues such as early warning systems, resilient infrastructure, and resilient financing. Those efforts contribute to strengthening the global coherence that must be fostered among the development, climate, and risk agendas. Following the recent COP30 in Belém do Pará, Brazil, the G20 had the opportunity to reaffirm its collective commitment at the highest political level to the goals of the Paris Agreement and to strengthen a more ambitious and equitable global response to the climate crisis. The G20 must send a message of unity and ambition, reaffirming the group's leadership in achieving a fair and sustainable global transition that leaves no one behind. Mexico has consistently played an active and constructive role in international climate negotiations, working to build bridges, promote consensus, and uphold key principles such as equity, intergenerational justice, and the centrality of human rights in climate action. The just energy transition is not merely a goal, it is a moral imperative that requires our collective commitment and action. The Mexican people have faced prolonged droughts, intensified hurricanes, disrupted rains, and biodiversity losses. Through our updated nationally determined contribution, Mexico will strengthen its renewable energy and sustainable transport goals, expand nature-based solutions such as the restoration of forests, mangroves, and coastal systems, prioritize community-centered adaptation, and include security as an across-the-board issue linked to climate action. We believe that a just energy transition should encompass the following 4 key principles: inclusion, job creation and skills development, investment in clean technologies, and support for communities. To advance towards sustainable and resilient food system, Mexico has implemented technical support actions through farmer field schools to increase production with an agroecological approach. We also established new seed banks dedicated to the preservation of traditional food systems, which contributed to the selection, conservation, and safeguarding of native corn varieties. Finally, the efficient use of water in food production is a strategic issue. Therefore, we implemented the National Irrigation Technology Program, which includes training and technological assistance to producers to recover volumes for other uses. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you indeed. We've now concluded the interventions by G20 members. We now have guest countries that have chosen to make interventions. As we have run out of time, we propose that we allow interventions right up till 6:45.